Welcome out to the Nerd Effect Podcast. We are at episode number 29, and Nikki will not stop laughing at me.
You made the weirdest face. You looked like you were gonna sneeze. Sorry.
I am one of your nerd hosts. I am Dustin James Vancouver, the freshly shorn.
I don't think I can follow up those R's.
It was hot, right?
Sure, buddy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you're a furry.
Or Hispanic.
Well,
But
I don't
I'm
think
not.
they think it's hot because they talk like that, so it's just normal.
Yeah, that's just a double R. It's just normal speech.
Whatever. Anyway.
Anyway,
Yes,
you were hot to the
Dustin.
furry community, so you feel proud.
Yeah. You
Yes,
next.
yiffing.
You're too sexy for your hair. Ah.
Or
Oh.
lack thereof.
Yeah. Well, that was the point.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Dustin is joined by his cohort, Michael Morgan.
Mason Ireland.
Nick Prindle.
Yay! Oh, that was nice and in unison. It was almost in tune.
And then there was Mason.
We could start up a Balder Shop quartet.
Oh.
No way!
I went there, you guys.
Anyway, we are here this week to talk about one of our main topics that we come up with every week. This was actually the first time. God, I know that was redundant. I'm sorry. You laughed at me in the background. I could hear it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I would never laugh at you.
We have nothing but the utmost respect for you, Dustin. We would never, ever possibly laugh at you.
It's late. Normally it'd be midnight right about now for us. Because we're,
Only 11.
For some of you people who...
Actually, it'd only be 9 right now. Spring forward.
That clock's not set forward.
Actually, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
I
Yes.
swear to God, it wasn't when we got here.
No.
Weird.
It just blew my mind.
Yeah, that's the actual time.
That was Dustin
So who the fuck set
having
it forward? Nobody
explosive
was
diarrhea.
here. Unless somebody did it yesterday.
Yeah, probably.
Oh. Little backdoor for you people. Remember, we record this thing out of our work office, so why people are here on a Saturday, beyond me sometimes. Anyway, we're gonna start.
Brain good.
Brain dirt.
Derp, derp, derp.
We're gonna start the top of the show off with the feedback. We actually owe a big apology to Brian Copel from last week because we didn't get to his feedback.
And whose fault was that?
Not that we didn't get to it. It's just that Dustin did not have his email open at the time of the show to remind him that there was feedback. So Brian, we'll get to your.
Plus, we ran really long again last
Yeah,
week.
yeah, real long.
This is the show that doesn't end.
But it will end, and it will end at a decent time tonight because we've split up the show into 2 pieces.
Thought we were going to pretend that we weren't.
But we're just. Way to go, Nikki.
She just broke the meta.
You broke the meta.
No, he didn't.
I was just saying we're doing 2 shows. I just
Yeah.
doing them
Fuck
at
you
once.
guys. Is what I have to say.
Behind the curtain, we actually just recorded the new show like 30 minutes ago.
I broke the fourth wall.
What?
I'm like the Deadpool of our podcast.
So for those of you
So, if I throw you in a vat of acid, you'll get horribly scarred, but you will regenerate? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Let's not try it, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are listening now, you've probably also already just heard our news show in the last few days. I'm going to try and make it so that the topic show posts like probably late night Saturday. So that way it gives it a nice little buffer between the news show and the...
You're going to wait basically the whole week?
Yeah, because the topic doesn't really have any time frame to it. So,
Oh, okay.
Whereas the news is usually based on whatever happened in the week prior.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sure.
Anticipation.
That was a great game, by the way. I don't know if you've ever played that where you gotta try and fit all the pieces into the fucking... They're all
Yeah.
different shaped.
That
about
wasn't
40, 50
anticipation
pieces.
at all. That was,
I hated that game so
I
much.
can't remember what that was called. It was called something else.
I know what game you're talking about,
no,
and
it
that
wasn't
game was so
anticipation.
stressful.
Yeah. And every time it
That game
jumped
was
you-
just a primer for children on how to live stressed. This is
I
what you'll
could swear
feel
it
like
was
in
called
college, kids.
Anticipation. Yeah. Quick, try and force it into a square peg into a round hole. Like, Do it. Force it. Because that's the only way you're going to get through this.
We had it, and I can't remember, so
I had it
doing
too.
the
And
rules.
it was put on like a 60-second timer.
Yep.
And you had like...
And then there was the advanced version of it where you had to put two pieces together before you put them in the socket.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, that existed too.
Perfection.
Perfection.
Yes.
Anticipation.
Whatever.
Whatever your face, dude.
All right, we're going to start with Brian Coppo's email that we missed last week. So here we go. Fellow nerds, glad that I have you... Ooh.
Are you sure, buddy?
Did the linguist make a big mistake?
This is... Yes. I'm just going to read this as it says. Fellow nerds, glad that I have you the winningest post of winning last week. I'm guessing to say I'm glad I have won the winningest post of winning last week. Nikki, that reminds me, did you get Brian his stuff?
No, not yet.
We have not found a kangaroo scrotum yet?
Somebody posted
I know,
it. No, I made the logo. Working on the bag.
Nice.
Yep.
I want to see it before you send it.
Of course. I'll
Okay.
take pictures of it.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay. So Brian, that's on the way.
You should probably message me your address so that I know where to send it.
Yes. Or Nikki@nerdeffect.com.
Yeah, or that.
And since you asked nicely about what makes me a nerd and that it's been a while since I last wrote in, here it goes. The first thing that made me the nerd I am today was Legos. Back in the day when the original pirate sets were out, I had the original Black Barracuda. Still do. From there, it expanded to comics, including ElfQuest, the graphic novels, and watching X-Men cartoon Saturdays with my dad. I remember it. X-Men cartoon Saturdays was the bomb diggity.
I still have a couple VHS tapes of that cartoon that I got at Pizza Hut as a kid.
Nice.
I remember I got Jen, God bless my wife, she is the most amazing woman ever. But she got me, like, just while we were still dating, she got me two things that, like, blew nostalgia out of the water. One, she somehow found still in the cellophane wrap, and it's in my car, not in the cellophane wrap anymore, but, the Ninja Turtles coming out of their shells tour on cassette.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I need to borrow my uncle's, USB to cassette adapter so I can get them into MP3. Because that would be amazing.
Yes.
And then I'm going to run through Audacity and get the hiss out and make them sound nice.
Yep.
So yeah, that was amazing of her. And the other thing she got me was, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for PS2.
Nice.
Which is a rare find. And it was like $100 game. So.
That's awesome.
I was pretty excited about that. I still have it.
That's pretty cool.
I've played it once, but that's because it's a collector's item and I don't want to fuck with it. Let's see. Obviously, over time, my nerdiness and geekiness both grew to what they are today, and I am proudly raising little geeklings. Me too.
Geeklings.
I also proudly instruct one of the nerdiest jobs in the Army, and I prove that just about everyone is a geek about something. And so that kind of goes with my theory about, when you have a geek out over something.
Yep.
At work, I've become known as the person who is full of random, sometimes fairly useless knowledge. That's pretty much every nerd, but especially when it comes to vocabulary and crosswords. Now that is a specific thing. Also, from several shows ago, I have the etymology and protagonist and antagonist for you.
I was wondering if he was going to do that.
Agon is from Greek, and it means contest or trial. Pro meant primary, and anti was the rival. It did not mean good guy or bad guy, but which side was the observer was on. Right. This is why some protagonists fall into the anti-hero category, like Deadpool.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it for this time. Keep up the good work. I just ordered a new laptop that I may review for you all later if I'm able to have the time, though it could be another month before I get my hands really into it. Your bud, Brian.
Also,
Thanks,
that's
Brian.
What she said.
Thanks, Brian. Again, sorry we missed this one last week. Well, okay. I missed this one last week.
Dustin really dropped the ball on this one, you guys.
I'm sorry.
I'm just teasing you.
Oh, yay.
I'm not. You fucked up.
Shitty DM. That was my channeling nerd poker.
Which, by the way, last week's episode of Nerd
Oh my
Poker.
god, it was amazing.
Again, this is a podcast you really have to listen to if you're into any sort of D&D or role-playing game besides our own. But it is amazing, and last week's episode was just off the chain.
I mean, a bunch of comedians getting together playing D&D is just going to be great.
Alright, this one comes from our buddy Tim Furry. Coming to us talking about books being turned into movies. He says, one of the reasons for Game of Thrones' success as a TV show is George R.R. Martin used to write for TV back in the 80s and 90s. He was a writer on the old Beauty and the Beast show with Ron Perlman as the Beast, as well as the 90s reboot of The Outer Limits. So he has first-hand experience in making TV.
Yeah.
But
I don't consider the 90s and Outer Limits to be a good show at all, though.
Well, he does have a hand in making TV, but I'm pretty sure he's not actually a writer for the show. I think he's just there as an advisor.
Like a consultant.
He's
Yeah,
just
like a
an advisor
consultant.
this time, but yeah. Well, he has written a couple of episodes.
Well, I mean, yeah, he probably has his hand in it somehow, but I
But
mean,
he is, it is, his work, and he is advising them on basically what changes to make it,
more
take
true.
it from book to TV without losing the essence of it, but still making it more able to be, on television where you don't have hundreds of pages to explain whatever you need.
Right. Ironically, one of the reasons he started writing Game of Thrones is he was tired of producers and executives telling him his scripts were too big and too complicated to actually film. So he set about writing a story that was as big and complicated and had as many characters in it as he wanted. Production budgets be damned. So that was that came.
Well,
from
it's
Jim.
working out now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, tell that to his bank account. I'm pretty sure he's
Yeah.
Doing
rolling.
just fine.
Doing just fine. Which, by the way, if you've ever heard an interview with George Martin, the sweetest little old man you've ever met in your life.
Except for he wants to kill everyone you know and love in his books.
Yeah, that's all an act.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure him and Moffat just sit in a room and laugh
Yeah.
maniacally.
As Joss Whedon enters the room and starts laughing too.
Yes.
He doesn't know why they're laughing, but he can feel it in his evil, evil soul.
I agree.
Yep.
So those are our feedback emails. Thank you for writing in. If you would like to send us feedback on any show that we do, by all means, feedback@nerdeffect.com.
Or if you have bad things to say.
Go fuck yourself at nerdeffect.com, which is a legit email now. I made that official a couple of weeks ago, and so, yeah. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself at nerdeffect.com. So yeah. Also, some other site news I want to do. I'm really wanting to push our social media aspect a little bit better, and especially with Facebook, because that's our primary kind of go-to for any sort of updates and stuff like that. We are trying to get to other stuff, but they are set up. We're getting to them. You can always go there and respond to them if you want. But Facebook is where our foot is in the most. So I'm thinking about starting up a like campaign. I got a couple of people interested in donating some stuff that we can use to do like a random drawing with. Like once we get to a certain
Okay.
maybe we can start, with 300 or something like that and give away something schmancy.
Fancy schmancy?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then maybe as we get higher and higher, maybe we can do a 500, then 1,000. I'm not sure how many people we can actually get to like our page, but
If we're giving something away, we can get lots of people to like our page.
Yeah,
That's how that works.
Yeah.
do share and likes. Like, so take this post, share it, like it, tell your friends.
Yep.
And we'll give away something cool. I don't know what, but we will give away something cool. So keep your eye out on our Facebook page. You should go like it now, just to get a head start. Because we love you.
We even like you.
Ooh.
Because Facebook.
I got it. Facebook.com/nerdeffect. Nerdeffect or Nerdeffect Pod?
Nerdeffect.
Nerd effect.
Because I've noticed that some social media, like Twitter, Nerdeffect was taken. I was pissed. So I had to make it Nerdeffect Pod.
Yeah.
Whatever. Alright, well, let's get into our topic. This week we're going to be talking about the evolution of superheroes. Apparently that was El Capitan.
That was pretty epic.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was like a
Da-da-da.
radio movie voice.
So this topic comes to us from Nikki over here.
My brains.
Or Nikki's brains.
Mm-hmm.
Probably,
I had no part in it, just my brains.
Which we can see now because you don't have any hair covering it.
All right.
Yeah. It's see-through.
See all the veins throbbing in her head.
Yeah.
Those are thoughts.
When I get really stressed out, it just pulsates. Yeah.
Like Megamind, who is kind of a hero. Or a bad guy.
Yeah.
Anti-hero. Yeah.
I still think we could just paint me blue and I look like him right now with my giant noggin.
You should cosplay as him.
No. Be a really warm outfit. That's a lot of pleather.
So, Nikki, explain to us what we would be talking about today.
Well, basically just how superheroes have evolved in media over the years.
So, just like...
How they're presented, the issues they address, like early Superman versus now Superman.
Yeah, I was thinking, the first example that came to my brain was like how Batman went from campy to dark and brooding over the course of time.
Yeah.
And
Well, he wasn't campy at first.
No, he was a detective.
The detective aspects of The Dark Knight were more important originally, and he was pretty dark. In fact, he was the first superhero to kill someone.
But Batman doesn't kill.
Not anymore. For the first villain he encountered, the Reaper, he killed with a gun.
Because he
38
was an
special.
Adam West Batman.
And then after he did it is when he made the choice, if I kill, I'm no better than these criminals I hunt. And then he stopped killing. Mind you, didn't stop him from being violent. He still likes to do the violence. He's still good at violence.
I will beat you within an inch of your life.
He will beat you within an inch of your life.
But you have that inch.
You have an inch left.
You're
Yes.
welcome. Yeah. Stop being a dick. Signed Batman. In my mind, he leaves notes.
Just leaves his business card on top of their bodies. Just says
Bruce Wayne, Wayne Industries. Shit, wrong business card.
Damn it! I should have used my stationery.
Damn it, Alfred. Wrong tights.
He wears other tights to work with his suit. I love it.
So
Right next to his bat repellent spray or shark repellent spray.
Bat shark repellent.
Yeah.
yeah, everything's got bat as a prefix. Mm-hmm. Bat everything, Batarang, Batmobile.
Adam West is
Bat
great.
plane.
I've got that movie, that Adam West Batman movie on DVD, and it's amazing. I found it at a thrift store for 50 cents, and I almost shat my pants. It was a good find.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. No,
Is it?
I don't
I
know.
believe so.
I haven't seen it.
I wouldn't doubt it. But,
Something I need to watch. I haven't seen it before.
oh, it's special.
Yeah. In that
It's-
Adam West Batman kind of way.
Shark repellent spray is actually a thing that they
Yeah.
have in that movie, and he punches
That's-
a really awesome rubber shark in the face.
Yeah.
I saw a meme the other day of it was Batman. He's like kind of got the wave to the comic book panel, you know.
Yeah.
It says, "Hi, I'm Bruce Wayne, and welcome to Jackass." And the next few frames of him is like a chain through a shark's mouth, just riding it underwater. it was the most amazing thing ever. I was like, that's funny.
There was a shirt that I found on that one website that's got all the really nerdy running clothes, and it was the Batman running team, and it's got Adam West holding the bomb above his head in mid-run from that Batman movie. It was pretty awesome.
I see that at work once in a while.
Do you think that...
You're the bomb, and there's Adam West holding a bomb over his head, and I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
please stop using that in your emails. But yeah,
What do you think that people who read the original Batman comics, if you could, bring them forward in time to see things like the Batman running team shirt and stuff like that, what do you think they would think? Would they be like, wait, what happened?
I would. But,
Yeah.
well, the thing is, the original, like I said, the original Batman wasn't the campy Adam West stuff.
No, it wasn't at all.
So it was really dark. And then the Adam West era,
I've got a bunch of Batman detective comics at home, yeah.
and then you have the Adam West era, which also got campy in the comic. Mm-hmm. And then it went back to normal during the 70s. And then Frank Miller happened, and Batman's never recovered from that level
Then
of
he
darkness.
then he evolved into the goddamn Batman.
Yeah. He's like, goddamn Batman. But basically, Miller was the one who really started the really ultra dark, brooding Batman.
Because he's good at that.
Yeah. And from there on out, Batman's never really recovered from that. It's like that's become Batman's thing, no matter who's
I think
writing.
recovering from that was bad. Wait for Ben Affleck. Oh man,
You don't know how he's going to do that.
I know.
You're just. I mean, like I'm not.
Michael Keaton did it. He can't be that bad.
Michael Keaton.
George
was pretty
Clooney.
bad.
Keaton did
They were pretty bad
good
though.
on Batman. I think.
Who was better Batman? Val Kilmer or George Clooney?
Val Kilmer.
Val
But Val
Kilmer.
Kilmer's also a douchebag, so there's that.
Well, okay, but that doesn't affect his acting skills.
No, it
So-
doesn't. But when it's easier to play a darker, brooding character when you're a douchebag in real life, I think,
Oh.
is my theory.
I want that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. And it would be a not catchy t-shirt at all.
No, not at all.
It's a really long t-shirt.
Yeah. What are you doing? Reading your T-shirt. God, why is it so long?
So all you need to put on there is it's really easy to play a dark brooding character when you're a douche in real life, and they just have a little picture of Val Kilmer down at the bottom.
Just Val Kilmer's mouth, what showed through the Batman mask. Everyone would know who it is without, using someone's likeness and getting in legal trouble. Like, it's just a generic Batman mouth. What are you talking about?
Legal.
I guess that does look a little like Val Kilmer. I didn't see it before you pointed it out. Totally pull it off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, is there any other heroes we can think of that?
All of them. I mean, every superhero really has
X-Men.
gone through.
The X-Men.
Oh, the
yeah.
X-Men. Well, let's see. Okay, one of them has never changed. Cyclops is still a giant douche and always has been a giant
he's
douche.
a fucking tool and has always been a fucking tool. Yeah.
Yeah. Beside the rest of them, however,
Every team
Professor
has
X
a Boy
has been
Scout.
pretty consistent too.
yeah,
And Magneto.
but
Let's get out of
I
the
would
way
say
now.
without the consistency of Professor X and Magneto, there would be no frame of reference for the X-Men to really exist in.
Yeah. I agree.
So,
I mean, I rewatched, before I got rid of my VCR, I rewatched my Pizza Hut X-Men cassette tapes. That is a far campier show than I remembered it being, because I just remembered it being badass and intense when I was a kid. And rewatching it now, I'm like, wow!
They got the whole series on Netflix.
I know, I need to go through and watch it. It was sillier than I remember it being, because... then I got into the comics, and then they had the movies that pissed me the fuck off, and then, it had been a while. And, yeah, field position, rocking back. No, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was still, you get that nostalgia factor because it's your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, the only running I did as a kid was to get home in time to watch X-Men. Yeah, it was a lot campier.
Yeah, X-Men, Bill Nye, and
Bill Nye
Super
is
Mario Brothers.
The Super Mario Brothers one's pretty bad. I watched that recently too.
pretty bad. That was,
Yeah,
That's what I made it home to watch.
yeah.
but yeah, the X-Men, like, some of the characters, like, I mean, there's some of the obvious changes, like Jean Grey. Going through Jean Grey becoming the Phoenix, becoming the Dark Phoenix, coming back again, yada yada. But
I did like, the one thing that I really liked about the X-Men movies was the little teaser they did at the end of the first one.
oh
With, Phoenix.
yeah,
Because I remember seeing that and just being like, grabbing my friend's shoulder next to me and be like,
Phoenix Saga!
getting really
Yeah.
excited.
Which
and then they
really
fucked
wasn't
that
much
up,
of the
but-
Phoenix Saga. It was
No.
just her kind of like Pokemon evolving.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
pretty much what it was.
yeah. With the movies, like, I don't know. It's like the first one was okay. Like, for the most part, I thought they did a decent job with the characters. I mean, Wolverine was Wolverine.
Yeah.
Okay, he hasn't really changed that much.
He's hard to screw up.
He's got a
Yeah.
few costume changes, but that's...
yeah.
Well, but the yellow and blue wouldn't have worked out so well on the big screen, really.
Well, I meant just in general. He's
yeah,
he's had
yeah.
several
Well, the
different...
yellow
They
and
all
blue,
have.
yellow and brown. Yeah.
If I've got the first, it's a reprint, but the first X-Men comic,
yeah.
and their costumes are fucking ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, the yellow and blue.
Yeah, they've Yeah, they've
Yeah.
Jumpsuits.
yellow and blackish. But they changed a lot because that was back in the what?
That was the 60s.
Yeah, the 60s, and that was what was cool and futuristic looking back then.
Like Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, exactly. So it's got to
Yeah.
evolve, or you're just gonna look retro and silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think about Superman sometimes and his evolution over especially in the mid to late 90s. Where,
But his costumes also stayed pretty.
okay, red and blue Electro Superman.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Superman. Oh, so
The
Superman.
90s did bad things to lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Cyborg
But
Superman.
Superman died at the hands of Doomsday. They should never have brought him back.
Batman also killed him once.
Yes, but that was in the future.
Yeah.
So.
One time Batman killed Superman in the future, you guys. That's a fun sentence.
Like that, that was because Superman became relatively evil at one point. No, like he was
It's
going on
in The Dark Knight Returns.
right.
Where it could be argued that Batman's also gone a little off his rocker
Yeah,
by
they
that
were
point.
both a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, but Superman was losing his powers because of nuclear war causing a dust cloud, which prevented all of the radiation from our yellow sun to get in and making it more of an orange-red. He wasn't completely powerless, but he wasn't as powerful as he once was. And he had gotten a lot more militant because of people, post-apocalyptic doomsday thing going on, so people weren't really being law-abiding anymore.
Couldn't he have just flown up in past the clouds and just
No,
recharged his batteries?
he couldn't fly that far anymore.
Wow. Sucks for him.
And Batman made power armor and kicked his ass.
Batman.
Go Batman.
Yes.
Yeah. But, while I made a mint off of the gimmick, of DC killing off Superman, I think they should have either honestly killed him off and never brought in Clark Kent / Kal-El back, or they should have never done the stunt in the first place, because they brought him back without really any major changes. He was still the big blue Boy Scout. And granted, he's not as Boy Scouty as he used to be.
He's always been a
But
bit
he's-
of a Boy Scout. That's one thing that's
Yeah.
never really changed.
but he's still pretty Boy Scoutish.
Mm-hmm.
So,
He's kind of the America's sweetheart of, like, even more so than Cappy A is, I think.
yeah.
It's
Which is ironic because he's not even from here.
not
Yeah.
even from this planet, you guys.
Yeah. I don't know. As an American icon superhero, I like Captain America better.
I like Captain America better, but I think more people are aware, and until the movies came out,
Yeah.
until the Cappy A movies came out, I think more people were aware of Superman because of just how widespread
Yeah.
his release was. Like, comics, movies, radio shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, radio shows. Good lord.
I have a bunch of links I should send you to this website where you can listen to old radio shows. Streaming.
I do remember watching the old Superman cartoons back in the day, like way, way back, prior to me being born.
I have
Like,
a
when
DVD
he-
of the old black and white ones, yeah.
Where Superman's fighting those giant, like, just kind of cylindrical robots.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one I've
That's
got.
the most
That's-
amazing cartoon ever, and I just remember watching this kid go, "This is awesome!"
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah, I loved that cartoon. But
I'll bring in the disc for you to borrow so you can rewatch it if you want. It's still pretty awesome.
I do want to watch it again. Other superheroes.
I would say my favorite superhero evolution is actually from DC, but Batman's a little part of that universe, which is specifically Dick Grayson evolving from Robin
Tonight.
into the Nightwing.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of ways he's the same character, because he's still everything he learned as Robin, being Batman's sidekick, is what he uses as Nightwing. In fact, he kind of has access to the Batcave and all of the same equipment Batman does, because, Batman gave him a lot of money. But, it's that thing where, he's one of the few comic book characters that actually grew up.
That's true. They do kind of get frozen in time.
Yeah. Like, Batman's been in his early 30s for the last 70 years.
That's why.
Except for when Frank Miller wrote this little 4-part, thing.
Have you seen? There's an X-Men cartoon where basically the premise is they're in high school.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. It was actually really well done. I liked it a lot, just watching because the way they fight and bicker, Magneto's crew versus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It was like a Nicktoons.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember what it's on Netflix though. I know that. And Wolverine's one of the teachers.
Is it just? It's just Wolverine and the X-Men or something like that.
No, that's a different one. That one's really good too. This is. I'll look it up while we're talking.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like they're in high school. Like
yeah.
Nightcrawler has to have this thing to make him look like a regular.
Yeah, it's like
person.
And
it's
they're
like
in like a
chameleon
normal high school. It's not even. They're at the Xavier Academy. That's the boarding school they live at, or the boarding house they live at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I feel like I've seen bits and pieces of what you're talking about, but I've
watched
never
it
actually.
all the way through, and I liked it a lot. It's less campy than the 90s cartoon.
There's only one thing I
Fairly
remember from
entertaining.
that show. It's the Beast finds a way to slow down Nightcrawler's teleportation, and they find out that they smell a brimstone because he goes into a other dimension,
Yeah.
like hell. and
X-Men
then
Evolution.
comes back. Okay, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
And so all of a sudden he's like, I don't want to teleport anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only thing I remember.
Yeah. Well, Nightcrawler, like a character that's been nothing but fucked over every time they modify his character. And it hurts me because like Nightcrawler is one of my favorite X-Men.
Yeah, I like his character a lot.
But like, one, his teleportation is actually going through another dimension. It actually turns out that in the Marvel universe, everyone who can teleport via not magic are all from the bloodline of the same demon. Nightcrawler's dad was a demon who had sex with Mystique.
Have
He's a
you
mutant demon?
Have you read the
He's
comic?
not technically a mutant. He's a demon. He's half demon.
Have you read the comic where Nightcrawler and Rogue figure out that they're essentially siblings?
Yeah.
I've got that one. I love it. It's really good.
Because they're both Mystique's kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Mystique fostered Rogue and
Yeah.
was Nightcrawler's mom, and it's a total mindfuck, and that's a really good comic.
Yeah. And, so they find out, oh, hey, that you can teleport, and you actually go through hell when you teleport. Okay. Oh, actually, by the way, also every time you teleport, you're killing yourself slowly. Yeah. And it's just, and yeah. And
Bamf, dead.
yeah. It's a tiny amount. It's a really, really, it's like less than 1 micromort every time he teleports, but he's still slowly killing himself every time
Is
he
that a
teleports.
real measurement?
It's like
Micromorts? Yes, micromorts are a real measurement.
I like it a lot because I know Mort means death,
Yeah.
but I'm picturing Mort from Family Guy being tiny, and that's a micromort. Continue. That's just
Yeah.
We
And-
gave Nikki happy.
yeah, it made me pretty happy. Just tiny little Morts running around.
you're kind of like Spawn when he uses his energy. It takes a piece of him every time.
Yeah.
Ooh, Spawn's a good fucked up.
I love the
superhero.
Spawn
What did you
character.
think of the movie?
I like the
I
movie.
didn't read the comics,
Yeah.
but I really liked the movie.
So here's the thing. The thing that pisses me off about most movies is the fact that they don't stay true to the character's, look.
Yeah.
And in Spawn, I
He
mean,
looked pretty spawny.
Clown
Yeah.
and
They
Spawn,
looked like
they were just brought right out of the comic
Yeah.
and into real life, and that's what made that movie. Granted, the CG that was used, especially when they were hell, was, 1997.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
they didn't exactly have
But,
super awesome CG back then, but
But I mean, yeah, the graphics, the practical effects that they used in the movie were definitely super awesome.
I miss practical effects, especially in superhero movies. I know that part of why we're getting such awesome superhero movies is because we've got these CG capabilities that we didn't, so it's easier to make these things within a reasonable budget.
Right.
But there's just something about practical effects and how it just makes it feel more real when they're done right.
Yeah. Well, but the problem is that practical effects can easily become very campy very quickly.
Yeah, that's true. But when they're done right,
very
they're-
fucking expensive.
yeah.
I was gonna say another that started in comics was Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
That's an evolution.
Oh, yeah, they were
went
totally
fucking
different
off
than
the
comics.
deep end at one point. I mean,
Yeah.
the 80s cartoon that we all know and love is not exactly where they started.
That is not the vision they had for that.
No. Well, Eastman and Laird were actually mocking Daredevil to start with.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
I think they mentioned it on that Nerdist interview that they did, actually.
Eastman and Laird were mocking Daredevil. That's why it was set in Hell's Kitchen. In New York. That's why the Turtles were in Hell's Kitchen. And like the Turtles were, I mean, they were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, literally. They were teenagers. They were turtles. They were mutated. And they were trained to be ninjas. It was, the name has it all right there.
Yeah.
But
spells it out for you.
yeah, pretty good. But like, yeah, sure. They liked pizza, but they liked pizza because it went well with beer. They weren't just friends with April. Every single one of them was hitting on her and trying to sleep with her.
Casey Jones.
They kind of did that in the movie, too.
Little bit, but
Nods
not.
into
Michelangelo mostly
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
he had a little bit of a turtle boner for her.
Yeah.
Gross, 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 gross.
Considering it goes up to their neck and it splits out of
Yeah,
the cell.
that's why I said gross, gross, gross. Clearly you don't know.
Turtle anatomy.
Yeah, you wouldn't have said that.
But yeah, and they just, the cartoon, while it made Eastman and Laird a lot of money, was not their original vision of the Turtles. And that's one of the things that's always bothered me about everything that came after the original comic run. It was cheesed up and made campy for kids. It wasn't kept true to the original Turtles.
Well, they tried to make the first movie kind of serious. Like, it may have had a PG rating, but it was like early 90s PG rating.
Yeah, where it would not be PG now.
Yeah,
at
it'd
all.
probably be like PG-13 nowadays. But,
Which is so funny because kids are more desensitized to things now than they were back then. I think. Like,
internet.
yeah. So it's so funny that the ratings.
Thank you,
have gotten
4chan.
stricter.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the newer series of cartoons that have come out and have gotten they're a little more serious than they were than the 80s cartoon.
Yeah, but
they seem to follow an actual, whereas like the 80s cartoon was like a one-shot story every time. It was like, oh, Shredder and Krang are out getting fucked up again, and then the Turtles like, we better fucking stop them, and then that was pretty much the basis of every show.
We just fucking stopped them.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's eat pizza.
And then, yeah, it's like, let's eat pizza, Michelangelo cracks a few jokes, Donatello makes some weird sort of gadget, and off they go.
right.
Whereas the actual, like, it seems like the newer series they have out now, new-ish series. I don't know much about the new 3D animated one, which is kind of, I saw one episode and it's pretty cool. It's on Nickelodeon.
I have the 3D animated movie on a collection. My brother got me the collection of the Ninja Turtles movies on disc.
The TMNT?
For Christmas one year, and I haven't watched the new one yet just because they look weird.
Mason and I went and saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
Is it worth
With a
watching?
bunch of kids.
Is it worth watching because it just looks weird?
Actually,
It's supposed to be a direct sequel to the movies.
Is it
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, and it's...
it was, I would say it's worth watching because I thought they were a little weird when they were immobile,
Yeah.
but when they were actually moving, it didn't look that bad.
Oh,
Okay.
it was smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It just the animation style and the way that they chose to represent
it's
them looked
different.
funky.
It's different, but like for me, like when they were immobile, like on like the movie posters and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
didn't look that great. But
when they're
when
moving,
they were
okay.
actually animated,
I think what they were going for is they're going for a little less humanoid and more reptile.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
That's-
I mean, just for the first 3 movies alone, it was a good present.
yeah.
But I just haven't been able to bring myself to watch that one.
I have it on Blu-ray at home because I picked it up for like, it was one of the used movies I got at Hastings for like the buy two get one for a penny type
I love
thing.
that. That is the best. Or the dollar bins. Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched it since I bought it, but it is worth a watch, and I imagine it looks really good in Blu-ray.
We were like that with 300. We have 300 on DVD, still in the cellophane for 2 years. I'd never seen 300, and it is Angie's favorite movie, and for some reason we just didn't watch it.
Have you watched it yet?
Yes, I finally saw it. We're gonna go see the new one for her birthday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's
So far the reviews I've heard on it is like, it's good.
Well, she really likes that movie.
Yeah.
And we really like explodey action movies.
I have to say, from what I've seen of the trailer of the new 300 movie, I'm happy because, this time there's a fucking Athenian navy.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that. My inner Greek mythology
it's kind of
is just kind of
it's supposed to be a
excited.
prequel
No,
to the Spartans.
No, it's not. It's
because the reviews I've read is at the beginning they talk about Leonidas and his. It's like a flashback. Is for what I
Really?
understand, it's supposed to be
I don't know about that.
the Persians'
That sounds
initial
weird.
kind of like how he
I thought it looked like-
he became a god.
I thought it
quote,
looked like
unquote.
it was his son getting revenge in the trailers that I saw.
Okay, because I would say, I don't know. But,
I don't know about this prequel business.
It's all history. That's all prequel.
Oh, snap, Mike!
yeah. I don't know, because, I know, 300 is based off of a Frank Miller comic book, and I think the movie's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, visually.
Visually, it is
storylines.
awesome. I loved the visual style.
And if you don't-
Super pretty.
And if you don't know the quote, "This is Sparta" by now.
Yeah.
I knew it before I saw it because it's all over the internet.
Yeah. But they had, and they had the 300 Spartans defending the hot gates, which they did. But, the thespians weren't as worthless as they made them out to be in the movies to start with. And they were guarding the Spartans' backs. I mean, they weren't the frontline force. That was the Spartans, because the Spartans wouldn't let anybody else be the frontline. That wasn't their shtick. But the thing is that the only reason they were able to hold the hot gates is because while the Athenians didn't have any troops on the ground, as it were, the Athenians had a really fucking good navy.
Yeah.
And basically, they kept the Persians from landing more troops because they had troops on the ground already, and they mobilized troops from the back onto the boats to try to bring them forward quicker. And the Athenians stopped the Persian navy cold. Otherwise, Greek would have fallen to Persia, and it wasn't just, that's part of what caused Athens' rise to power in Greece, is their overwhelming victory. There are two overwhelming victories versus the Persians, one at, the Hot Gates, and then also, at the Battle of Marathon. And I really wanted the movie to show off the Athenians more.
Well, you're gonna get it now.
Hopefully.
I'll let you know how it is.
Okay.
I gotta share with you guys here. So, my brain does things, and
We know about the
Yeah.
things your brain does, Mike.
so I got Power Rangers theme going in my head. Go Athenian Navy.
There's something that's
Yeah,
been around.
there's some. Want to talk about
that's
evolution?
still around. They're still
Yeah.
doing Power Ranger shit. I didn't know that, and then
And the two idiot dudes are still playing the two idiot dudes.
yeah.
But they're also investors in the show now.
Oh, well,
Same with Jason David Frank, which is why he's still in it.
okay.
I remember we weren't allowed to watch that show or Ninja Turtles, which basically meant we only watched it when Mom was gone on the weekends and Dad was watching us.
Yep.
Right.
And because Mom thought we were gonna fight, because we didn't already, because we were brother and sister.
Brothers and sisters never fight. What are
I
you
know, right?
Never. Lies.
That like Power Rangers. I remember kids on the playground playing Power Rangers, and the fact that there's still kids on the playground playing Power Rangers, just like that show is stuck around like nothing else has. Like other things have been redone in different formats. Like Pokemon, I guess, is the other one that kind of has, but I don't think Pokemon's been around in America at least.
Pokemon's been around since at least 2000.
If I remember correctly, it wasn't released in America until 2007.
No, because the original Pokemon series. Well,
Oh, no.
My brother
'Cause
was
it
in
was on-
elementary
well,
school.
'cause it was
No,
on
not
regular.
2007.
Yeah.
What?
I was-
97, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That
Because
sounds
my
about
brother
right,
was
'cause-
collecting Pokemon
Well,
cards when he was in elementary school.
I was an
so-
adult when Pokemon came out.
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
all over Pokemon when it came out.
I was in
It came out
junior
at least
high.
late high school because the
I was-
Digimon came out.
No,
No,
Pokemon
it came
was
out in
one-
it came out in 97.
Yeah. I distinctly remember being in school when Power Rangers came out.
Yeah.
But
Power
what-
Rangers
was
been around.
definitely
No,
Power
Pokemon
Rangers
was
first.
earlier because my brother was in elementary school and he was.
But what I'm
watching
saying
the
is that
cartoon.
Pokemon came out before Digimon, and Digimon was out while I was at least still in high school.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, yeah.
they had to be well before, because I started high school in
97 is what we
Yeah.
established. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotta be
it
happy
He was
stuff.
really distraught.
definitely not 90s.
Yeah.
Pokemon. And
I remember my brother fell and like almost cut his hand off, and he was in surgery and had to do like physical therapy for a really long time. And that was one of the things that I did for him was I took puff paints. How's that for a nice flashback, you guys? And I decorated the front of a binder for his Pokemon's cards.
Aww.
Yeah, big I think he still got it somewhere actually. Big old puff paint binder.
Puff paint.
They still make those too, you guys. I want to make puff paints holiday sweatshirts with the dots like my mom used to do. Did anyone
mother.
else's mom do that?
No.
No,
We had, like,
thankfully.
4th of July specifically, but she would do like
A
the
sweater
dots.
on 4th of July?
No, shirts.
Oh, okay.
And she would do like the dots and make like an American flag and fireworks and puff paints. It's like Braille for your clothes. Anyways,
you try
sorry.
and wash your shirt and get the little chunks all in your clothes
We
everywhere.
never had that problem. You turn them inside out.
Going
Wash them
back-
cold. You're good.
So going back to Power Rangers here for a sec, I don't know much about any of the, pretty much anything that happened after Zeo, which was a long ass time ago.
I know the first series, and that's it.
I don't know anything that really happened in Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just know it's been kicking around.
At least since I was in second grade. But the newest series is weird because I haven't seen an episode.
Because the other ones weren't at all.
No, but what I'm saying is that the newest series, I guess they have the ability to morph between the different types of Power Rangers that have happened over the last course of generations.
Oh, that's so that the parents can geek out over it with the kids that are watching it.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's for the people our age.
So I thought that was kind of funny.
That's pretty cool,
It's
actually.
not really a bad thing, though. I mean,
No.
And have you seen
Nostalgia sells.
There's a production company out there called Bat in the Sun, and they do this show called Superpowered Beatdown, and it's fucking amazing. And they just take two random like superpowered characters and just like, here's what would happen if they were in a fight. Like they did Wolverine versus Predator, and they
Oh
did
my god.
and they did
Where do you find these videos?
Batman versus
This is going in the notes. We're gonna post a link
Gambit
to
was
Wolverine
one of
versus
them.
Predator.
it was Batman versus Deadpool, and that was amazing.
well, eventually Batman loses because Deadpool regenerates.
You'd have to see the end of the video, but he probably eventually would regenerate, but it would take him a really long fucking time.
Well, he has Wolverine's healing factor without the problem of the adamantine in his bones, slowing it down.
He blows him up. Fucking grenade style.
Batman wouldn't do that, though.
But he knows that he won't die. He leaves him as a head.
It's not
basically,
a
at the
moral
end of it.
issue if you know that
Yeah.
he's gonna stick around, yeah.
But
Yeah, he'd regenerate pretty quickly.
as far as the fight goes, Batman walked away. That's pretty much what it ended up down to.
How did Wolverine versus Predator go?
Wolverine won.
That's awesome.
But the latest
Not
one,
killable. Wins. And
Yeah.
that's
Wolverine will just
Yeah,
sniff
that
you
was-
out.
I bet
Like,
it was
he just-
awesome though.
But the
What's
Machinima, I think, is the one that puts them up. And then the production company is called Bat in the Sun. But the newest one that I remember seeing was the White Ray. Actually, I take that back. There's the primary. What happens, and then if you want to see the alternate ending, you can. So they do both sides of the coin. So
Okay.
if Deadpool would have won, here's how he would have done it. If Batman won, but it's based on fan votes.
oh,
So it's not like a.
so it's not an actual critical analysis.
It's more let's not piss off the nerds.
Well, let's not piss off more nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's piss off
But,
more nerds than we would otherwise.
but it's crazy how close the margins come sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But the last one
Oh,
was.
and if there's one thing that nerds get really irate over, if you want to start a fight, walk in a room and ask what superhero would win a fight. Like, everyone's got strong opinions.
Death.
Yeah, oh no, she always wins.
Yeah.
Well,
I
but,
saw a lady wearing a Death Eye t-shirt, and it was like a
Oh,
gay
I
man
missed
Death Eye
those.
t-shirt.
Death walks into the room. Titties! And we're all dead. So
Her boobs aren't that big.
No, they're really not.
no.
Are you talking about Lady Death?
Maybe I'm thinking the wrong one.
Oh,
We're
Lady
thinking
Death
Gaiman
is all
Death.
titties, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're talking Neil Gaiman Death.
Tiny little goth girl death.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
The way cuter one. The way more dateable
understand.
one.
The way that I hope death really is when
Yeah.
my time comes. Like,
Me too. If not, I will be sorely disappointed.
I'll die of sadness.
Oh.
Oh, wait, already dead. Just sad.
Yeah. But would you have despair and nothing to dream about?
I think they left without us.
I think they did too. 'Cause I was totally trying to continue a story, but I just let him go.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the last superhero beatdown was the White Ranger versus Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
That's pretty cool.
And the guy who played White Ranger was Jason David Frank. Like
Oh,
they actually
nice.
let him reprise the role as the White
That's
Ranger.
pretty cool.
And White Ranger won.
I feel
It
like
was
he
kinda
probably
cool.
hasn't moved on with his life since then.
Okay, if I was making as much money as he is off of it, I wouldn't move on either.
It's like Dolph Lundgren's in this god awful show that we stumbled across on like Channel 9 or something like that. It's called Rescue with 3s instead of E's. We can't figure out what country it takes place in because we were thinking it was South Africa, and then they were in Hawaii, and then they were someplace else. Basically, they're like, it's like shitty Baywatch with Dolph Lundgren.
Okay.
It's horrible.
I
At
still,
least he has a...
But it's got Dolph Lundgren in
Master's
it, so
degree.
you're like, this is cool. Let's
I
watch
still
it.
need to see Army of the Damned. Or whatever the robot versus zombies movie.
Yeah, I do too.
Which, by the way, there's a... God, I can't remember the name of it, but on Netflix there's a movie about killer robots that uses those same robots from the Robots vs. Zombies.
Oh, cool.
It was really horrible.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, I wouldn't expect less.
I found out about a movie that I really want to watch. It's got the main guy from Haven in it, which, like, I'm going to show you guys a picture of this guy because you're going to recognize him because he's been in all the fucking things. I looked
He's
him
the
up.
Watson?
No, he's not, but it's just
Malcolm
as
McDowell.
bad. No. He has been in so many fucking things. I looked him up on IMDb, and it is ridiculous.
Is this like the guy I showed us last week? He was just like, he shows up in all the randomness.
Yeah,
Like from Riddick and stuff.
the actor's name is Eric Balfour. Balfour? I don't know, it looks pretty French. So this is the guy. I'll put a picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. He's got
Okay,
a weird face. If you've seen him in one thing, you'll recognize
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Apparently he was in a B movie called Dino Shark,
Nice.
Oh, no.
which, I really
So are they
need-
gonna do a crossover Dino Sharknado?
I hope so.
Well, they're
and
making Sharknado 2.
I'm
Ah,
gonna track
sure they
this
are.
one down because I really want to watch it because he's actually a decent actor who just gets parts in a lot of weird things.
I've seen him in Haven.
Yeah, Haven. I love Haven. We're almost done, and I'm getting depressed about it. But so this actor, he was in. This doesn't have anything to do with what we were talking about, but it just blows my mind all the shit he's been in. He was in Can't Hardly Wait, What Women Want, America's Sweethearts, Secondhand Lions, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm just listing the stuff I've heard of.
I'm at a degree of separation. Aaron Paul was in Can't Hardly Wait.
Dino Shark. That's just, Tao Surfing, which I've never heard of. On TV, he was on Kids Incorporated.
Oh my god, I remember that show.
I know, right? Step by Step, Dr. Quinn Medicine Women, Animaniacs, Boy Meets World.
Is that Animaniacs?
Yeah. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Clueless, the TV show, Dawson's Creek, The West Wing, Nash Bridges, Chicago Hope, Freaky Links, if anyone remembers that show, NYPD Blue, 24, 6 Feet Under, The OC.
But hasn't everybody been in NYPD Blue?
It's ridiculous. Monk, Dino Shark. Oh, because it's a made-for-TV movie. Okay. It's like, it's one of those things where you're like, how have I not heard of this person? Because they're in all the things. Yeah. It just made me laugh because I was telling you guys about him and I saw the list of things he's been in.
Yeah.
Gotta love those actors that are just random show-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Like
one
Jane
guy-
Lynch. Once you notice her, you realize she's in
She's
every
all
movie.
the things, yeah.
And the same character every time.
Yeah.
Kind of like how
But she's great at playing that character.
Oh, she's fantastic. Yeah.
kind of like how I want to start a restaurant called That One Place.
I used to want to start a band called That One Band and write a song called That One Song on a CD called That One Album, so that people would call on the radio and request that one song off that one album by that one band and just confuse the fuck out of DJs.
That is beautiful.
Yes.
That's junior high Nikki joke is what that is. That's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah. So, I'll say, what about, like, the evolution of the hero in general, not specific heroes, like superheroes, but, like, not, like, specifically Batman.
Oh, like how super, super flawed heroes are now what we're really into because we're super, super flawed and we like seeing that.
Yeah.
They're like celebrities. They're just like us.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like how Batman should probably be locked up in Arkham himself.
Oh, yeah, if this was real life.
He's the crazy man that's on our side, though.
Yeah.
He went from somebody who's just out to solve mysteries and find bad guys to...
Granted, his parents had always been killed by the Joker before he was the Joker. But
wow, he's gotten a lot more fucked up.
Yeah.
So is he kind of like a modern-day Sherlock Holmes?
That was part of the premise.
Yeah.
But he also gets the cool toys.
He does.
Yeah,
Nice thing about
Holmes
being
wasn't
rich.
a billionaire.
No.
Oh, no, but if he were...
Holmes was a heroin addict, actually. So if he was a billionaire, he would have shot it through his veins.
Which they actually...
Or actually smoked
Which they actually addressed in the last season of Sherlock.
I haven't watched it yet. Don't say words.
That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it there.
I heard about that, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. Which I'm glad they're actually addressing that in it, because that's actually a major part of the Sherlock Holmes character.
I was listening to, I really like the BBC food program. And they were talking about food in mystery novels, which I'd never really noticed was a theme, but a lot of people who write mystery novels go into great detail when describing food.
Okay.
And a lot of
now
like old radio shows, like there's one, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's basically about an overweight detective who sends a guy out to do his footwork for him. And it's an old-timey radio show, and he goes into great detail describing the food. And in Sherlock Holmes, if you actually read the novels, they describe food in great detail in the novels too. And so they were talking to... Moffat randomly popped up. I think I actually emailed Dustin when this happened because it blew my mind. Moffat popped up on my food program. I was like, hello, I'm Stephen Moffat. And I paused it and I emailed Dustin. I was like, I think Stephen Moffat's going to kill Sheila Dillon. the lady that hosts the show. And he basically said that the first episode of this new season is they talk about chips, french fries, in great detail for a while.
French fries.
All right. And that was him addressing that, but it was fucking Moffat.
Yeah.
I'm so totally going to use that. We'll be playing the game, I'll be suddenly just describing the food in great detail. At that point, you know we've entered a mystery.
Yeah.
I saw a meme online that they wanted to start a new game called Shatner, where no matter what you're doing at any given point, if somebody walks into a room and yells Shatner, you have to completely overact whatever you're doing at that time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would play that game. Have you've seen my Dramatic Pause Shatner shirt?
Yes.
I won it off of Shirt Punch. It says Dramatic Pause. And it's just like, it looks like a comic strip, and it's just 3 images of the Shat. It's glorious.
So, do you think the over-seriousness of comics and comic-based movies is a little overdone these days at all?
No.
I think that largely comes from the fact that our generation who grew up watching the cartoons, at least, like I realize we're not the first generation that grew up with comics, but like our general, I'm including the entire room, age group, grew up with cartoons and cinematic productions of these things.
Yeah.
More so than previous generations have, and we're growing up and getting more serious. And I think that's why they're evolving with us.
Well, I would say that one of the things about, I had actually watched, I can't remember the Stan Lee documentary. With great power comes great responsibility.
So much, yeah.
Like, one of the things he was talking about on it.
You just want to pinch his cheeks.
I know, he's so awesome.
He's adorable and awesome.
And
it's great.
Like, I think if, like, I'd freak out about meeting any, like, celebrity in the world, it's probably him.
Oh, yeah. I saw him on a red carpet once when I went to the Spider-Man 2 premiere in Hollywood. I got to sit on the bleachers while people walked down, and I saw Buffy And that was really exciting. And then I saw fucking Stanley and I lost my shit.
Yeah.
I was like 20 feet away from him and it was amazing. I felt myself get more awesome just from proximity.
Yeah. But, like, one of the things he was talking about on it was, like, they told, like, he had been restricted and, held back on what he could do in the comics. And granted, part of it was the comics code, but also, like, he was kind of held back a little bit further. Like, and then finally they said, fine, do what you want. X-Men show up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like, when he got to actually, like, you know, fine, do a comic the way you want to do it. We get the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. Mm-hmm. And those two comics kind of started the trend towards the more serious comics. And the thing is that animation and graphic novel format, you know, the comic book format, don't, like, for some reason in America we have this they're for kids mentality, but they're not necessarily for kids.
Makes Nikki angry.
And, like,
the fact that we still call them comics is probably a part of that.
Maybe.
That's just a terminology that'll never leave.
Yeah, it's going to be a comic book.
Ingrained in the culture.
Yeah. But, like, my biggest argument against this is actually an anime. But Grave of the Fireflies. That is probably the best war movie ever made. Mm-hmm. It is animated because, one, well, it's animated, but two, like, the big thing is that it's so powerful and so serious. If it was not animated, you probably couldn't handle watching it.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I still have to watch it in the middle of the day in a well-lit room when I know I'm in a good mood. And I still come out of it going, I think I'm going to kill myself.
Did you ever read Mouse at Made US? Yeah, same thing. If it wasn't done with animals, because it's about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I read that when I was probably way too young to read something that serious.
I think I read it when I was like 14.
Yeah,
and that's not the right.
Found it in the library in the children's section.
Because they didn't know what it was.
Yeah, when I was in maybe like 5th grade. And that was like the first comic I ever really read.
Yeah.
And I checked that out from the library so many times.
Well, it's an amazing.
That one and the second one, like and Persepolis. If you've read that, that one's really good. I remember
seeing Akira in the animated cartoon movies
way
back in the day.
That was misplaced also. But the thing is like the medium itself isn't necessarily for children. In fact, you can do a lot of things with it that are mature content. I'm not talking about porn. But
like
just are not children themes. And you can express it and do things with it that you cannot do with live action and get away with it.
And the beautiful thing about comics and animation is when you do something profound in a movie, it's a profound movie.
Right.
But when you do it in a comic or an animated feature, it is a profound work of art that took people crazy amounts of time to create.
Yeah.
And it's just, I never understood why people didn't respect that more, like as an art form as opposed to something for kids.
Yeah. Well,
in retrospect too, with the CG that we got nowadays, you're seeing a lot more stories that 10 years ago they wouldn't have really done because you just couldn't really do the effects and all that.
Like 9, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
That's not for
9
kids.
was an amazing movie.
Right? I have it, and I need to watch it again. It's been a little while, but that one was intense. And a really cool story I guess they could have done like a Secret of Nim style animation with it, and that might have worked, but it was so much better CGI.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, yeah. And I think part of it is that, like, whereas, like, our parents grew out of comic books, basically, you know, for the most part, our generation went, no, I like this. I'm sticking with it. So, like, a lot of the comic books have evolved to hold our interest. Mm-hmm. And they're not so concerned with getting kids, like 5-year-olds, into them anymore.
It's like I went over to my parents' house in my Darth Vader sweatshirt, and my dad asked me when I'm going to grow out of this stuff. And I was just like, never. I'm a nerd, Dad.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I like, and I like to wear things with the thing that I like on them.
Well,
Yeah.
it's also natural evolution for the medium too to go spread out to different types of mediums.
Yeah.
So you go from comics to cartoons to
Movies.
full-on movies.
And all
Right.
of these things breed merchandise, because if there's one thing that we like to do, it is buy shit for the things that we like.
Yeah. But just in general, I think that like with the storytelling, it's getting more mature simply because we, the audience, are refusing to let
Yeah,
go.
that's what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't do it in as good of a way as you did,
And,
though.
It's keeping up with us, and they're not concerned with getting 5-year-olds into it anymore.
But now they're also-
like, oh, you're 15, yeah,
But-
check out a comic.
Which is
book.
why
They're-
DC doing the new 52 is fucking genius.
But they're also...
Except they fucked it up completely.
But they gave it a new generation a
They're
face
also
to start with.
doing multiple versions of things. Like, they're still producing the versions for the parents to be like, oh, this is evolving with me. But then, like, they're like, X-Men is the only example I can think of. Like, they're coming out with new X-Men that's...
Well,
While they're not doing a great job, it is getting darker and more serious, the movies. But then they also came out with something like X-Men Evolution, where they're in high school, which makes it more
Right.
relatable for the kids of the nerds.
right.
So while they're keeping us entertained, they're also still managing to lasso in those younger generations,
Right.
so we can geek out and share things with kids.
Like one of the like the new 52, I thought was a good idea for a couple of reasons. One, DC has a far more fucked up universe
Yes,
than
yes, it
Marvel,
does.
and they needed to rein that shit in. And the new 52 was a great way to rein it in. Then they didn't. That was the problem. They were like, "This is a new beginning," and then they went, "Oh, by the way, remember this thing happened over this other comic?" No, not one of the new 52s. This other comic we did over here. So they screwed it up by doing that. If they would have truly just ran with the new 52 as its own pocket universe of DC, I think that would have been a much better thing to do. But they started referencing outside stuff.
I think a lot of the comic book artists probably also are probably at this point probably having a really hard time. They have to get to a point where they can't assume their audience anymore either. So, like,
Right.
you can't, even though this guy's been reading Batman for the last 25 years, if you're going to start over, you truly have to start over. You can't just...
Well, the thing is you don't have to, like, start over until year one, which is the origin story of Batman.
Oh, God, I love explaining to people how, well, while I realize that this X-Men movie has a different story in it than the other X-Men movies do, that's kind of how the comics works, because there's 18 origin stories for every character.
Right. Oh, Batman's origin story is very solid, and this is what happened. Year one.
That one's pretty sad.
dead.
Yeah.
Backhanding Robin. I love that
You
meme
don't
so
have to
much.
necessarily go back and start there. You can start in his career as Batman in the story, and then still flash that shit back during the comic over time to fill people in on why he became Batman in the new one. Even though someone like me, who's been a comic, or any of us, because we all know Batman, but someone like me who's been reading comics, for a long time now, I don't even know. I know Batman's origin already. I don't need to be told it, but seeing it come back in flashbacks is fine. They could have done that. They could have stuck with the new 52 without starting to reference the outside stuff and retelling those parts of the stories that were necessary at times, like, the origins of all these people, but they didn't have to start at their origins necessarily. And it would have been great. But like Animal Man, they did it from issue 1. Which was bad, because they started referencing shit that happened in the old Animal Man comic. The old Vertigo imprint one. And I'm like, okay. I still enjoyed the Animal Man comic for the new 52, but like, I think they just should have stuck it out without referencing any outside DC material, even though these were the same characters. This could have been the new 52 universe, and they could have just run with it.
Well, I guess it depends on who you talk to too. But I also heard there's a few stories out there that are still really solid, though. Like I heard the Batgirl series is pretty solid.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I'm not even saying that the stories aren't solid. I'm not saying the stories aren't solid in the new 52. I'm just saying they started going outside of it, and yeah, what I would like to see, like DC could do it, Marvel could do it, Image, Dark Horse. a new company. I don't care who. But
IDW.
Yeah. I mean, just, I was just going through the big four.
Right.
Like they could, but take and.
I miss Top Cow.
Yeah. But like start a new.
Wildstorm.
Yeah. But start a new universe of superheroes. And run with it. If Marvel or DC did it, they don't even have to make new characters, but just make sure it is completely isolated. Like if Marvel or DC did it, force it to be completely isolated from all of their old stuff.
Like just not even a part of the same universe.
Not even part of the same universe. Say Marvel did it and they wanted to do the Avengers and the X-Men and all that.
I was gonna say
no. Go ahead and do an Avengers and an X-Men. Make them the same damn characters. Just this thing that happened in issue 52 of the old run doesn't matter. It just and have them like age out, and people take up like in how. Was done in The Watchmen, Silk Spectre and the Owl, that are the two of the main characters in it, are not the first Silk Spectre and the first Owl.
Mm-hmm.
But have characters age out. Superman may not age out, like Dr. Manhattan didn't age out. Because
there's a Batman cartoon where they played with that a little bit.
Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond, yeah, it's a new kid.
Which I really liked that concept.
Yeah, but I would like to see him run...
Even though Old Man Wayne gets a few punches in, too. Mm-hmm. But David, he throws on the old cloak once in a while in that show.
I think if I remember correctly, he does it for the same reason that occasionally Alfred shows up in the Batsuit.
Mm-hmm.
It's because sometimes you need to see the silhouette of the Batman and Bruce Wayne in the same place.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mm. Plus,
I miss the old days of just getting tea.
Yeah, but, have the characters age out eventually. And have new characters come in, it's start it, in 2014 and, have it be whatever year you want it to be in the comic, but start it in 2014 and have the characters age progressively, maybe every comic book year is 6 months of issues.
Kind of like Family Circus.
And
they did age.
That's true. They aged through it. Not a Family Circus.
No, it's...
Not Doonesbury. That is going to hurt me in the head. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I can picture the kids.
Yeah.
And their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, do it like that and have,
super churchy undertones.
I think it's just more family.
No, it had some pretty super churchy undertones.
But, in 5 years of real time, you've gone a decade in the comic. So, maybe your characters died. Oh, there's new characters that are old enough that their powers are manifesting if they're mutants, or they're old enough to start becoming superheroes. Well, you had this one guy, who was already an older superhero.
Like X-Men version 2.
Yeah, but actually have a living, breathing universe, and, having people taking up the mantle of this character, or, new heroes and new villains. I think that would be kind of an interesting thing to do, and I think it would be an engaging way to do a comic, or a set of comics. But probably not going to happen.
Four of us should totally do a comic.
I can't draw, so...
I've tried doing comics.
I liked your Game World comic.
You're one of 8 people that did.
I remember it too.
Yeah, you're also one of 8 people that did.
And Heidi's another one.
We actually got some emails when we stopped doing them.
Oh.
Which... What do you...
You may have picked up my shoe.
Oh, yeah.
That's under there.
So anyway, that was my comic book rant. I'm sorry.
That was a good rant.
That was a very good rant.
Yeah.
I think you just totally redefine. Because personally, I think if anybody's going to create a new universe, if any company, especially now that they're owned by Disney, it'll be Marvel.
Because Marvel's the one that does things right, and now Disney's got them.
Disney wants the cash.
Yeah.
And anytime they can make money off merchandising or new properties, they will do it.
We lost too much shit off that John Carter thing.
Yeah.
I found on LibriVox recordings of the books because I don't have time to read anymore.
Nice.
And I'm going to re-listen.
So do you think they'll do a Marvel Universe and Star Wars Universe crossover at all?
I hope they do a full-on fucking Patton Oswalt
rant.
The Patton Oswalt filibuster.
I would watch the fuck out of that. Like, have you seen the animated version of that?
Yes.
Yes.
We should post it. I'm writing this. These notes are mostly doodles, by the way.
You doodle your notes?
Well, there's, like, I drew a Banff cloud.
Which is awesome.
And a Batman.
Cloud.
And a Nikki's tinfoil hat corner. And me with a shiny bald head. Weird little monsters and an eyeball.
So yeah, Patton Oswalt filibuster. That will
should
definitely
post those on
be
your
in the
blog.
show notes.
I probably will, actually. That's a really good idea. Because I engage in conversations better when my hands are busy. So there's going to be a lot of doodles now that I've got a notebook in front of me.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think Marvel has the capital now to do it the best.
Disney has
because of owning Disney.
I know.
I mean, they're
Owning other way around.
Disney owning them. Yeah.
That would make for some interesting Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Yeah. Stan, what do you think we should do with this Mickey Mouse cartoon?
Snips.
Actually, that might be cool.
Yeah.
Because Stan Lee is awesome.
He's
so
really fucking
Dude.
awesome.
You could have Disney character X-Men. Like, you could have, like,
Oh,
Mickey be Cyclops.
I swear.
and
Storm is now a
seen-
Disney princess.
I've at least seen fan art of this.
Princess Leia is a
Disney princess too,
Yeah.
and so is Amidala. Well, she's technically a queen.
For some reason, I'm seeing Goofy getting stuck as Wolverine.
If anybody's going to be doing it, I think Donald would be doing it.
Shink shink.
No, Donald is Wolverine because you need to be able to. Be
That was
pissed off.
amazing.
All right.
No, Goofy is Cyclops.
No, Mickey would have to be Cyclops because he's the Boy Scout. Goofy could be Gambit.
Yeah, that works.
Well, I just found Mickey Mouse as Wolverine. There's a cool one, and there's also Mickey Mouse with Spider-Man. That's pretty sweet, actually. Snicked.
Yep. But
Yeah.
I just like,
Mickey Mouse smoking a cigar is a weird thing
yeah.
to say. I don't
But
know how I
yeah,
feel about that.
Marvel is the one that has the capital now. But I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't know if they'd want to do it because they're so invested with their characters. And like, even if they did do it and kept their characters, like they've tried that a few times now, but then something happens. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but they always go, oh, and we're going to reference this thing from this other comic that these characters are involved in that has nothing to do with this storyline or this universe of these characters at all, and tie everything back together in the messed up way that comic books are tied together.
I love stupid, pointless crossovers. They're the best.
Well, no, I would just my rant, like I said in my rant earlier
yeah.
about, the New 52 thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to see it in a universe. I would, even if it's totally new characters, which I think would be cool. I think there's always room for new characters. And granted, every character we make nowadays for anything is just a reimagining of some archetype that we already have. So yeah, you're going to get your Wolverine and your Cyclops and your Batman and your Rogue and your Gambit. And
I've
your
got this
Nightcrawler.
one comic that it's the first of the series. It's written by Joss Whedon. It's called Frey.
Yes,
And
I've heard.
yeah,
it's awesome.
I've got the first one. I really want to track down the other ones because it's good. Basically, it's in the future.
Yeah.
And it's a vampire slayer in the future, but the vampires are all weird and evolved, and there's like crazy aliens everywhere, and it's awesome.
All I know is that the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer makes me really want to read the comics.
Yeah, me too.
Evidently the reboot comics are a lot more serious than the original ones, because the original ones were intentionally hammy.
Well, I guess
that's what the movie looks like. Is
Yeah, they're playing. They're going. From what I've seen from they're hopefully gonna have the right amount of ham in that sandwich. Basically,
That's what she said.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sorry, I distracted you.
And yeah, I would say the CG looks awesome.
It looks amazing.
I keep getting confused as to why Star Fox is in this show, but hey, I need to bone up on it.
You're talking about what's his
Rocket.
Rocket Raccoon.
Right, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen that comic, so
he was one of the original characters in Guardians of the Galaxy. There's like a whole
And I
race.
hear
Of, there's like a whole race of intelligent humanoid raccoons in the Marvel universe because of him.
I don't like it.
I guess the idea of
I
using
don't like it.
"Hooked on a Feeling" as part of the song is actually in the comics.
Yes.
The Ooga Chaga. I guess that's actually like a part of the comic somehow too. But
Yeah. Yeah. They were kind of one of those weird offbeat. I mean, they were always B-list superheroes, and their big thing to fame is they one point help the X-Men get over to the Shi'ar part of the galaxy. And yeah. They were always B-rate superheroes. But it looks like it's going to be a great movie, I think.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be hilariously awesome.
Yeah.
Even though there's a sentient raccoon in it, I'll probably go see it anyway.
He's actually pretty cool as a
raccoons.
character. He's totally foul-mouthed.
Okay.
Riding on a big tree, shooting things. Bam.
Yep.
Voiced by Vin Diesel.
I didn't even know that.
Didn't catch that.
You did?
That's kind of awesome.
Groot? Yeah. Groot's, he's voiced by Vin Diesel, and then the Destroyer guy is Batista.
Yep.
And then Chris
Batista
Pratt.
from Dexter?
No, Batista from Professional Wrestling. Batista.
I was like, did you just make a Dexter reference? I thought you hadn't
No, I
watched
did not.
it.
There's a guy named, I didn't even know there was a guy named.
There's a detective named Batista. In Dexter. That's fine.
Yeah. I would say, and
Maybe
also,
you guys need to watch this. If I'm going to watch Game of Thrones, you guys need to fucking watch Dexter.
I want to watch Dexter.
Yeah, Mason's debating
It's all on the Netflix now.
I know. I'm debating on tomorrow. I'm starting either Breaking Bad or Dexter.
Dexter.
Breaking Bad.
Somebody
Mike?
needs to get my references. There's more than one of you.
Mike,
No.
I haven't
you are
touched
looking
either.
like Heisenberg right now.
No, let me...
You need to be on my side.
Let me give my argument, though. There's more than one of you who's seen Breaking Bad. I'm the only fucking one in this room who's watched Dexter. I need somebody to relate to on this. So watch yourself some
Have
Dexter.
you seen Breaking Bad?
No.
Well, then...
Okay, that like
But you
that
guys
argument
have-
is invalid. Now I have to watch Dexter first.
Yes, because I'm
damn it.
tired of making references no one gets.
Actually, Nikki, you're the only one that's seen Dexter. Dustin, you're the only one that's seen Breaking Bad.
Wait, what?
My argument
I
just
haven't
stopped
seen either
working.
one.
Everyone knows what Heisenberg looks like.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can't know what he looks like, but
Yeah.
I've never actually watched it.
Interesting.
Yeah. I had my,
I'll watch Breaking Bad if you watch Dexter. Then Dustin has someone to talk Breaking Bad with. I have someone to talk Dexter with.
Well, in all
So
honesty,
eventually
I
I'll wanna
haven't
watch
seen
both.
the full series of...
Why are you giving me shit?
Because I know it's good, and I'm,
So's Dexter. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It won awards and shit.
I also hear the last 2 minutes of the last episode is a giant pain in my
No,
ass.
I heard to turn it
is
off.
the last 15 seconds of the last episode.
Yeah. I heard basically when you get to that one, just hit off and never look back. Yeah.
Yeah. When you get closer, I will tell you at which point you need to turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I had a good rant with Trish about this. Her head was going to explode because I was taking too long to get caught up and she needed to vent.
yeah, I was so Sin City movies, the one that is
yeah,
out
there's
and
a
the
new
one
one coming out.
the new one
Yeah,
coming
no,
out.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It does.
I would say personally, having read Sin City, there were liberties taken because they made a movie, but
There always are.
But I thought they did a really, really good job of making
The visual style, from what I've seen, was good.
One, the visual
Right
style.
off the friggin'
Yeah,
comic
one, the
pages.
visual style, but two, they toned back the movies, so they had an R rating. Yeah, they didn't tone it back to the point where it was like, oh, this is stupid compared to the comic book or anything now. Like, the people who posted about it on your Facebook were like, yeah, the movie sucked.
That was just one guy.
Or that one guy. I was like, I don't get it. Because the movie was good, and I've read the comic book, so...
The casting was spot on.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my god, what's his ass was so creepy.
Elijah Wood?
Yes!
Yeah. Held on to that ring a little too long.
Oh my god, that was so creepy.
Yeah. I thought they did. I thought every casting in this original Sin City was perfect. Ron Perlman, Jessica Alba,
Benicio del Toro.
Oh, I don't believe I just forgot his name.
The English guy, huh?
No. Die Hard.
Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis, yes.
Die Hard.
Yeah, but just all of them. It was just like
Come out to the West Coast.
Big black guy that died. I forgot his name.
Ving Rhames.
Not Ving Rhames.
Was it Ving Rhames?
No. Other guy. Ving Rhames is still alive.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan. Yes. Okay.
See, I think Green Mile with him.
Yeah.
And the British guy who's like my favorite actor ever, and I can't remember his name. The guy that was like in one of the primary stories.
Yeah.
It's gonna bug me.
You'll get over it.
But yeah, no, and like, yeah, I don't know. I just thought like all of them were perfect, and like, that was just like one of those things where everything was a perfect storm to make it a great movie.
Clive Owen.
Yes.
And Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson.
What? Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Awesome cast.
Yeah. Devin Aoki,
who's reprising her role in this movie.
I heard she wasn't.
She was in the previews.
She was?
Yeah.
I didn't see her. I'll go watch the preview again.
Oh, Jesus, that's right. Josh Hartnett was in them.
Yeah.
Like the opening and ending credits.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think the second one's going to be just as awesome because it's, again, Miller and Rodriguez teamed up to make it. So I don't see any reason it won't be awesome. But yeah, I don't know. That's one of the things, like, again, with comics changing, Sin City, that's another comic that changed comic books.
Mm-hmm.
So I just realized 2 of the people that were in the original movie are dead. Michael Clark Duncan and Brittany Murphy.
We were watching The Hunger Games, the new one.
Yeah.
And I am having a giant brain fart. The guy that just recently died. He's been in all the things. Bigger guy. Drug overdose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dirt.
That guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
Would have been able to tell you if...
he was a fairly major role that I think would have been reprised later on.
And it would have, yes.
And
he actually
he's gone now.
Yeah, he actually died, because the next movie that's coming out for it, he actually died, 2 weeks at the end of production.
Yeah.
So they have to, figure out a way to get him into the rest of the movie.
Which will be interesting, because I think they were probably planning on splitting that last one into 2 parts.
Possibly, yeah.
I don't remember what happened.
Well, they could pull a Crow.
Yeah. Oh, God, let's not talk about the Crow.
What?
Why did they have to make so many The Crow things?
I don't know.
TV
Honestly,
show, how many other movies did they make? Because I pretend that the other ones happened.
there
Didn't
are
happen.
5 Crow movies.
Are there really 5?
There's the good one, and then
Oh my fuck! I was thinking 3.
I've seen at
5
least 3
and a
of them.
TV show. Which
5 and the TV show.
has the guy from fucking Iron Chef America on it.
You say Iron Chef America, I say Double Dragon.
No, it's
Either
Iron
way.
Chef America.
Or Brotherhood of the Wolf.
But I'm talking about what he's on now.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry
the
I
Crow,
didn't reference the thing you wanted me to that I haven't seen.
Yeah, The Crow. That was
Oh God, let's not talk about it.
the first movie was good.
Let's not talk about it. I'm gonna get all
The first movie was again a perfect storm because I don't think anyone could have done The Crow better.
No, they couldn't, and they clearly didn't because I did not know they made 5 fucking movies.
You know what taught me this? Netflix taught me this, man.
They're all on Netflix.
Yeah,
Why Netflix? Why?
because server storage is cheap.
And because we like to binge watch things even when they're bad, and that's what Netflix has figured out is they like to give us shitty
It's
movies.
well, I'm not paying to rent it, so it's
Yeah.
just...
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the thing is I can kind of tolerate the second movie for 2 reasons. Iggy Pop is Iggy Pop, and he's cool. And it had a really good soundtrack.
I did have the soundtrack to that one, which is why I knew it existed.
Yeah.
I found the soundtrack and I saw that it had, I can't remember what the song is.
That was
but-
City of Angels, right?
That was
Yeah.
City of Angels, yes.
Oh my God.
And see, I played the Crossing Mediums, this Crow City of Angels game for the original PlayStation.
Wow.
It hurts to play.
Dude, remember, most crossover video games that tie into movie and television IPs suck.
But the way they
And then there is the Stick of Truth, from what I've heard, is hilarious and great.
Yes.
So, but yeah, anyway, on the Crow note, they should have only made 1 movie, but what I was talking
They
about...
did.
Okay, they did. I'm with you on that, actually. But what I'm talking about is how they animated Brendan Lee's face onto the body
yeah.
double. And with our modern technology...
Yeah, I know. That was back 90s.
Yeah, and it's hard to see it except for in a couple of scenes. Mm-hmm. So with our modern technology, they might be able to do that in Hunger Games. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Also, I like how the guy didn't take any credit for being the body double.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we're wrapping up at the end of a... Oh, where are we?
How did our short podcast work out?
Not bad.
Oh,
we're just a little over an hour.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
No, cool.
High fives all around.
Yay! And
Yeah.
your air high five, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Use the force, Nikki.
It's not as loud as our normal ones. Okay.
The force makes quite...
Microphone high five. Yay!
Yay, that hurt my ears.
Yeah.
Have fun with that, you guys.
That's
Like
when
we
that's,
high five the sides of your head.
that's when the listener's like, microphone high five.
They should know when we say microphone anything to just pull the headphones back for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't learned at this point, we can't help you.
I wonder if you're going to remember to do that when you're listening to this.
Probably not.
Okay.
If I haven't learned at this point, they can't help me.
All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed our second half of our podcast, where we are now doing 2 shows. This will continue to be the primary show, and we'll continue with the current number system that we have. So the topic show will always be consistent with.
I think what we should do with the news shows is we just date them.
Yeah.
Instead of
Because then they're
just
relevant.
Nerd Effect News date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Because
then,
it's news, so...
And then if you're, not wanting to listen to old news, you're...
Yeah.
Go
You
back
guys are
to a
getting
certain
behind
date.
the scenes working of how the show works, right?
Anyways. Meta.
Complete and utter chaos. Entropy.
Yay!
There is no system.
Again, go to our Facebook page, say hi, tell your friends to like us.
Check out that nerdeffect.com.
Yeah.
Start talking about stuff on those forums.
I promise I'll actually put something up on my blog.
You have to show me how to do that real quick.
Yes.
So anyway.
And the feedback, nerdeffect.com.
And if you don't like us,
Go fuck yourself at
nerdeffect.com. Again, legit email. Try it. It's awesome.
I might do that. Just draw a middle finger and just email it.
Do it. Just put underneath it, sit and spin.
My phone's gonna die or I'd do it right now.
So that's it. If you have any, again, responses to our chaotic little evolution of superheroes, I think we even touched on... Did we touch on super villains? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't really hit super villains, but
Gotta
same
do
shit,
something.
different side of the coin.
Yeah, pretty much.
A little more crazy.
Little more cray-cray.
Yeah.
Oh God, cray cray.
Cray-cray.
Nason.
I like cray-cray.
Oh, I'm judging you.
Oh, and I found Baby Metal. So, I'm going to leave it there.
It's his new Jesus.
I wouldn't say it's my new Jesus.
I love it. It's like,
Would you say it's your own personal Jesus?
No.
Oh.
don't defame Depeche Mode like that.
It's like being
I
slapped
was
in the
thinking more
face
the
with a
Marilyn Manson
lollipop.
person.
All I know is I cannot make fun of Mason for liking K-pop anymore. That's...
Yeah,
No.
K-pop's coherent.
And I'm still judging both of you. Yay!
Anyway, for the Nerd Effect podcast, we have been...
Michael Morgan.
Mason Ireland.
Nick Prindle.
And I am Dustin Vancouver, and for those about to nerd...
We salute you!